Dave the Butcher Clifford here for WXC as we get ready for Friday, October 21st, 2016. Ypsilanti, Michigan. It's at the Eastern Michigan University Convocation Center for WXC 65. Another professional debut will be made that evening as Josh Brueckner retires his undefeated amateur record to move to the pro ranks against a very strong opponent in Willis Black in our welterweight division. Now, what made you decide to make the jump after going undefeated? As I know a lot of amateur fighters, a lot of coaches think it risky for amateur fighters to retire amateur undefeated. They usually try to push a bunch of tough fights at them towards the end of their career,
right?
Which I've actually personally witnessed you run right through. So,
right.
Is there any trepidation as you get ready to step into that cage and let the door get latched as a professional?
I mean, there was no hesitation for me to go pro. It was just a matter of time. Like you said, I've had the tough fights in the amateur career. I've pushed through it. I train with pros in the gym every single day. So it was just a matter of time, and now it's perfect. Just coming off a hand injury, been training hard for a while, been nursing that, so I think now I'm ready to make the move.
And what made you and your coaches decide to make that professional debut here at WXC?
Well, it's just perfect opportunity because we always wanted the Willis Black fight in the amateurs. It just never worked. It just never happened. So now it's time to take it in the pros for a pro debut and make a statement.
Now, one of the best fights in WXC history you were a part of when you and Dean M16 Caldwell went to war. Obviously, you learned a lot on that evening. You learned that you can go into deep waters, you can weather storms, and that you can take on just about anybody. One thing that is difficult about this welterweight division across the board now that you're no longer an amateur is those Caldwell fights are going to be harder to find in the fact that a lot of the welterweights are protecting their records and trying to jump into the UFC lately and other feeder leagues, which, of course, in the Midwest, there's nowhere better than WXC to do so.
Of course.
After Willis Black, if you defeat him and remain undefeated as a mixed martial artist and become an undefeated professional, how soon are you going to try to book another fight?
It really just depends how I come out of the fight, injury-free, hopefully. There's no if or buts about it. I will defeat Willis Black, and when I do, we'll see what's next. If they get a tough opponent for me, hopefully WXC will have a good opponent for me, or if I got to go out of state, fly someone in from out of state.
Now, what do you and your coaches at Fuse MMA and wherever else, obviously you do some training at Final Round and been experienced at traveling to other gyms and bringing in people to Fuse. What is it that you and your coaches see in your opponent that makes you so confident about victory?
Well, I actually have Willis Black's kryptonite, which is Bobby Nash. He was the first person to defeat him in the amateurs. And that is my main training partner. He is an MSU wrestler, 8-1 as a pro, about to make that jump into the UFC. I have him pushing me every single day in the gym, so I just don't see a way Willis is going to beat me when I got the guy who beat Willis Black.
Well, and so with that being said, any of the fans who are going to be in attendance or anybody still on the fence about buying tickets for October 21st, what would be your message to them?
My message to them is come, watch me put a beating on Willis Black and make a statement in the welterweight division.
And would there be anything else you'd like to say to your opponent?
To my opponent, train hard, come ready. Looking for a war.